message to Will Ashcroft. I loved your goal from the pocket, and I hope to be the father-son just like you.
Very good to that. That's awesome. Welcome back to Kick Ons, Cam and Clark episode 18. That was Chase McGrath, son of former Lion Ash McGrath, doing the intro for the Kick Ons, which is pretty cool, and was down at Lion Park on Saturday. So thanks for everyone that went down there and jumped in with that, and thanks to everyone that come to the game. Huey, how you going, mate?
Going well, Paul. Good to be back.
Yeah,
Looking forward to today's episode.
It's a big episode, isn't it?
It's going to be great.
We've got a big episode. Obviously, we're trying to get Charlie on again. Still hasn't replied. I think he's saying now that because his teeth are out, he can't speak properly. So we'd have to have a little bit of an interpreter on. But we got Browny on today, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's going to be a good episode. I'm looking forward to chat to him and seeing what he's been up to.
Absolutely. Good Warrnable boy. So
the quiz,
we'll have a little bit in common. Is it a Warrable quiz?
It's not a Warrable quiz, but there's a question about Warrable in there. So it'll be interesting to see if he's stuck to his home roots or not. So
absolutely. How
about the game, Huey? Started off really, really strong, and I guess, we spoke about as a group having a mindset to come out and, play our best footy that we could straight away. And I think Fague said yesterday that our pressure was 2.2 in the first quarter or something. So that's a great indication of that.
Yeah, we wanted to put them away early and come out strong, and it was warm enough out there and the pressure was on early. I don't think we scored too heavily until halfway through the first quarter, and we were able to put on maybe 4, 5, 6 goals in a row and really take the game away from them. So that was really pleasing. There was some good performances from a lot of boys, but Chief, that was a pretty special game once again. I feel like we're saying it most weeks. He's in pretty special form. His
ability to mock and come off plays and assist. Obviously, it started that St Kilda game. He was unbelievable and followed up again now. He's been playing some really good footy, and I think he's really pivotal for us to have a really red hot crack at the end of this year. He needs to be up and going, and to get Gunners back.
Yeah,
and Gunners to kick 6, which was awesome for him. And
that vision of you putting the tape back on his head yesterday.
Oh, it was funny because Eric was standing next to him, and I spoke to him yesterday, and I was like, if Gunners actually pulled the tape off, he would have opened the cut back up and it would have started bleeding. And Eric's standing there waiting as if he's going to grab it and kick the section.
I'm surprised Eric didn't grab the tape and
rip it up for him. I'm like, no, keep it on or else it'll start bleeding. But I was saying it was pretty funny. He was out there after he kicked one of his girls going, see, I told you I could play, boys. I told you I could play for you.
No, it was great to see. He's put in a lot of work. I was out there with him on a Saturday session, and him and Richie were running laps and doing the hard yards, and it's definitely paid off for him, and it's good to see. Thanks for the nice little goal assist as well, Paul Murley.
Yeah, I know.
That was good.
Sorted out with that. We've been kicking from there as well.
Yeah. You knew where to set me up. I know. Didn't let you down. So
see, the video footage of Dev behind was not happy either.
No, what
he goes, and then he come up to me after, he goes, you think that was for me? I was like,
because we both ran into that same little hole.
Yeah, there's a little pocket in there.
Just the speed. Got him.
Richie as well come back and played in the VFL, which was really, really good. Obviously, they had a big win. They said it was nice and windy down there, and we saw one of those famous Richie goals from outside 50, but it was good to see him get back and get some footy in, and it'd be exciting to see how he can go from there as well.
Yeah, and I think the win is a testament to our VFL program. We had only 10 listed, I think it was, which is when half your team isn't on the AFL list. It can be hard to get those wins, but yeah, they were awesome. And I know our VFL, like your brother is training, they get to train with us pretty much every session. It's like they're an AFL footballer, and I think it really helps us.
Yeah, definitely. Going forward, we got Melbourne this week, it's going to be awesome. Friday night at the MCG. I think we got a captain's run Thursday. Is that open or?
Yeah.
Oh, Friday. Sorry.
It'll be Thursday.
Yeah, the captain's run Thursday.
Yeah.
That'll be open, which would be awesome if we can get some Lions fans down there. I'm sure we'll be able to get some photos and things signed by the boys. But a great test coming up against Melbourne. It's 3rd versus 4th. Obviously, last time we played them there was the final, which was awesome. And last time we played them at the Gabba was when the lights went out. So there's a bit of bit going on in the last couple of games, but it should be a good one this weekend.
Yeah, they're always a pretty tough test. We didn't do too well against them last year for a couple of rounds, and then obviously got them in the final. But yeah, it's a massive game because I think that we're sitting a place above them on the ladder, and we can either separate ourselves like every week or drop back to the pack a little bit once again. So we're looking forward to that, and hopefully the fans down in Melbourne get another great game like what they saw last time.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. It's enough about footy. We'll have a quick ad break. We got Browny coming in. I touched on before. The quiz is up. You won your first one last week, so the pressure's on you again this week, mate.
Back to back.
We'll see how we go and see if we can have a chat to Browny.
2023 Brisbane Lions memberships are on sale now.
A new era has arrived.
Go all in at membership.lions.com.au.
Cam, a few of the boys have been telling me how good our show sounded lately.
Well, they're probably listening on Audira headphones. They personalise sound to your unique hearing profile, like 20/20 vision, but for your ears.
So you don't reckon it's just our excellent podcasting skills?
That too. I use mine for calls, music, movies, and of course, listening to our show. They're noise cancelling, Bluetooth enabled, and have 30 hours of battery life.
Brisbane Lions members can claim their exclusive 20% discount on any pair of Audira headphones through their member page.
What's not to love? Join the club today and feel connected with Audira.
Join the Neds AFL Open Group to connect, bet and banter with hundreds of like-minded punters and see expert tips on every AFL game this season. Take it to the Neds level. T's and C's apply. See website for details. What are you really gambling with?
Welcome back to Kick Ons with Cam and Clark. We're joined by our special guest, Browny. Thanks for jumping on this morning, mate.
Pleasure to be here, boys. It's nice and fresh, but I've heard all about this podcast and I was excited to finally give in and come on. Nick's been terrorising me.
Yeah, have you listened to any, or is it just word of mouth?
No, I thought I'd wait and listen to myself. That's where I start. No, you're doing well, boys. I've got my own podcast, Brownie's podcast, but it's certainly not in the realm of this this one, that's for sure. But it's good to be back at the Lions training facility.
Absolutely. I was having a listen to that this morning, actually, on the way here, the latest episode. There's some interesting stuff on there. We talk a little bit about the bench press here, and there's a bit of a competition going on. But I was astounded to hear some of the numbers. You want to just talk us through a bit of that stuff?
Well, the bench press, I'm not sure with your boys, but it was certainly we were big lifters back in the day, and there was a big emphasis on heavy lifting in the gym, and we used to have the weights records board as we walked into the gym of the Gabba, and pride of place was number one, the bench press. It was bench press, I think the clean, and maybe the squats were the three big ones, but bench press was probably the blue ribbon.
Yeah, that's the one.
Bench press is the one you want.
Is that the one you want?
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a kid turning up with my noodle arms, you didn't have noodle arms.
Yeah, I did. I did. Must be a Warrnambool thing.
I turned up and I saw Lynchy's name up there in stars, and Lynchy was 155 kilos. Wow.
That's ridiculous.
If I even get half as good as that, I'll be happy. But so I think my first pre-season I managed to get up 80 kilos.
Yeah.
I thought, that's
not
pretty
bad.
good, but it's a long way to 155. And Scotty Murphy, our weights coach, who's at Geelong now, but he's our weights coach during the premiership era, and he used to say to me after each weight, he says, righto, head home and grab myself a hot chook and a loaf of bread. Load myself up. As I said, I had the noodle arms going, but eventually that worked. It took me 5 or 6 years, but I got up to that 157 mark.
That's good going.
That's when we first got here. I think Steph Martin was the man, wasn't he? What was he putting up? He would have been around that mark.
He was a big boy.
And it's the same as Oscar. Oscar come in skinny as anything, and they've just said follow Steph in the gym, and you got Oscar following Steph around as a shadow.
He was a powerful beast, Steph Martin.
Oh yeah.
He probably would have broken the record. I've
got a feeling him or Marcus Adams. Marcus Adams was putting up 160.
They really did single ones.
The specimen?
Yeah, the specimen.
What a nickname. Mate, you go right.
No, I'm not too bad. Me and Huey have been with each other this year. I think I did 120, but we don't do like one rep max anymore.
No, and we've got to pause now as well, where it's all about technique.
You've got to drop it on your chest and hold it.
There was no technique. I remember that Scotty Murphy told me about these weightlifting sort of vests they use, and they're really tight, and they hold you. Like you had to have help to get them on. And there was too uncomfortable, so we would wear multiple T-shirts. So I think the day that I did the record, Lynchy probably won't be happy with me. I think I had 15 tight T-shirts on.
Just bouncing it up.
And then keep you nice and tight.
Yeah.
I failed the first one, and then I went and had a chat to, Pikey, who fired me up, and I came back the second time around 10 minutes later, bang.
Did all the boys get around when someone was going through one rep?
That hasn't changed. I went in and rang Lynchy straight away and got stuck into it. I said, mate, we've got the wiper out, the eraser to wipe your name off.
Get your name up there.
Yeah, so that was that was pretty cool. Another guy that was amazing was Mel Michael, but Mel Michael, he couldn't be stuffed. If he had to put his mind on it, he would have done 200 kilos. So.
He had to just throw it up weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like Matho at the moment. Matho, we've got all this pause technique, and then you go over and see Matho on the bench at the end. He's got his wrist taped, and he's bouncing the bar on his chest.
What about the chalk? Have you got the chalk in there?
No, we do still do, but it's not as prominent as it used to be at the Gabba, is it?
Not on the bench,
Mate,
no.
I used to just slap it around.
Going everywhere.
Chalk just flying everywhere. And Pikey used to not do many weights, but he would always put the weights belt. Have you seen the weights belt?
One around
He'd put the weights belt on, and so would Mel Michael, so it looked like they were doing weights.
And just walk around the gym for the best part of 40 minutes.
So what about Fags? Have you got Fags on the bench?
Oh, no.
No way.
No. He ponders around
Snapping after
and pick up a 5 kilo, 6 kilo, and that's it. But I'll keep moving anyway. Browny, you've obviously watched a lot of footy throughout the year, and obviously watched a lot of the Lions games. Has there been anyone this year that's jumped out to you and surprised you with their footy? I know we've had a lot of young players come in and play some solid footy.
Well, I think that's been an exciting part for the Lions, has been the younger players, the first years. So obviously Will was well-credentialed coming in. There was a lot of talk about Will. He's had a fantastic year. And I guess because he had the expectation coming in, his year's probably been underrated to an extent. I certainly wouldn't be internally. I know you guys would be rewarding that. But maybe the outside footy world thought, this bloke's just going to be a star. So we maybe underrated actually his achievements. We showed on the couch the other night that first hands to clearance, he's the best player in the competition, which is quite amazing considering that's really a power and strength position to be a clearance beast.
Yeah, definitely.
So to do that at 18 years old, impressive. I've loved watching Jasper Fletcher. You know, he's
been good.
Yeah, he's been good to see. But I think Darcy Wilmot's run and bounce off half back. He's taking your spot. How long do you last there, mate?
That was 2 weeks.
I think just the combination of the young fellas has provided that enthusiasm and energy to the team, which has been great to see.
Definitely.
And Brownie, you got to go down and coach the Hampton team this year. How did that go?
Not good.
No good.
We lost. We first lost the coach.
Cooter.
I thought this coaching game was easy. And I come up against Cooter, who I thought, what the hell does Cooter have to do with the Ballarat Footy League? As I found out, nothing. But he still beat me. I couldn't believe it, so I'll never live it down. But it was good. So it was under 23 format this year. And,
right.
Natural for Hampton League to play Ballarat because that really makes up the Ballarat Rebels, who was your under 18 team coming through, Hugh. And it's just been important. It's important. Look, obviously, to give back is important to me, but I think it's important to try and provide an opportunity for these younger fellas that don't get drafted. There's so many good players out in country leagues all around Australia.
Yeah, definitely.
To put them on show and give them an opportunity to impress in front of the recruiters. And, geez, there's some talent out there.
Good players,
But, unfortunately, we went down. I gave him the biggest spray of all time at half time. I gave him a lot of compliments at quarter time. I come out, I thought it's all about positivity. We're living in 2023. Keep up, and then I've given him a massive pump up. We're dominating, and then half time, by half time, we had our asses kicked. And so I had to give him a spray. I said, boys, I've given you a pump up a quarter time, and then you've given me that in the second quarter, so I've had to give him a spray. So the boys are a little bit flat after that. But anyway, it was good fun.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your junior career down in Warrnambool?
I played for South. I was at Colac, but I think I started playing at Koroit, then started juniors at South Warrnambool.
Yeah.
And worked my way up. I played senior footy actually with Huey's old man, Sammy. So I was 15 years old and Sammy was one of the gun midfielders at the time. And it was pretty cool. I remember when I got the call up I think I was in year 10 to play senior footy.
Yep.
The Hampton League was very strong back then. Yeah. And I remember Huey putting a couple down my throat as a young fella. Maybe sneaking a couple of beers in on the bus on the way back from some of those road trips back from Camperdown or Cobden or one of those.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we'll talk before about your podcast and, you're doing a lot of work with Fox Footy. Did you have any plans of doing that when you were playing, or how did that all come about? And you're a busy man throughout the week doing a lot of that stuff, radio.
It's a good question, Cam. I guess I had an interest in it. I did a bit in the footy show with Channel 9 back in the day, but that would be only, maybe half a dozen times a year. But I started working with Nova 2005 when Nova first came to Brisbane. And it really started, just probably the AFL guy, but as we know, up in Brisbane, it wasn't massive at the time, so we couldn't really talk much about AFL. So I had to come up with other stuff to talk about, which is not too bad because I can sort of spin a yarn from time to time. But that was probably good grounding. So I worked for Nova for 10 years, and gradually I had to do more and more there. And a boss took me aside there one day and just said, "Mate, I'd like you to try and put your mind to this a bit more," as I was coming towards the end of my career. So I thought I was just he put me into the office one day. He said, "What are you going to do post-footy?" I said, "I'm just going to be a coach, I suppose." Yeah. And he said, "I want you to have a crack at this for 12 months and see if you like it." And I really liked it. And from there, I ended up getting a gig on the Breggy Show in Melbourne for Nova, and with Chrissy Swan and Sam Pang, and that was highly successful. It was the number one rating show. So I'm glad I did that. Took myself out of my comfort zone and sort of maybe just veered away from just being purely a foot in the football industry, which is really good.
Yeah, and 20 years on from the 03 flag, we need to talk about that and your memories from there, because obviously there's the Hall of Fame night coming up, and you've been inducted into that. But yeah, what are your memories of that? It's something we obviously want to be able to do ourselves, but we love hearing about the old stories.
Well, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Collingwood's up there this year too, boys. So it'd be nice. Nice synergy. We can knock them over. We can get all the way to the grand final and knock them over. It'd be nice. But 20 years, great memories, and 2003 was probably the standout for the adversity, the year that we overcame adversity. 2001, we won 15 or 16 in a row to win the flag, and we were the young up-and-comers. And 2002 we were the dominant team, albeit Collingwood challenged us in a wet grand final. But 2003 was the year of adversity, I think. Certainly that final series when we lost the first final comfortably to Collingwood. We had to go a long way home, and we had a lot of injuries, including Nigel Lappin, who fractured his ribs in the prelim final, amongst other injuries. We went out grand final day and we were heavy underdogs, and we knocked over Collingwood. We really bashed them up. To be honest, it was all over at half time, and it was such a defining moment for the team and symbolic of how tough that group was. So just great times, and I can't wait to catch up with the boys. So it'll be great to have the Hall of Fame night, which for the current players is great to see. The past champions of the club, but also celebrate that 20-year reunion. I think hopefully it'll give you boys the impetus to get over the line. And as I said, 20 years, it feels like yesterday, but it's a long time in the context of things. And I know you guys are doing a fantastic job, and certainly going to be in the conversation at the end of the year. And hopefully that's enough to spark you boys and motivate you boys to, forget about us old boys and create your own legacy.
The camaraderie of winning the premiership is just obviously, you can see, unbelievable. Do you still keep in contact with a lot of your teammates? And it's interesting to see how some have gone to coaching jobs, and you talk about Lynchy and media as well.
I know it's good. It's been great this year. The legacy of that team is sort of legacy of Lee Matthews, especially. He's got 4 blokes as senior coach in the AFL this year. The Scott boys, Vossi and Craig McRae, which is quite unbelievable, and they're all doing well. They're all capable of playing finals this year, no question about it. Obviously, Carlton's formed the last 3 weeks, so it's been good to see the boys from time to time. We probably don't catch up as much as we like, but last year, the Sunday after the grand final, Pikey organised a premiership reunion.
Photos of this.
And it was a big day. Well done to Pikey, because Pikey, not known for his organisational skills over the journey, but he did a magnificent job. He got my mate Sam Pang to come along and host the day. And, did some interviews with Pikey, and I think Pikey only got home about half an hour earlier, so he's a little bit rusty. And Vossi and Lee, and Lethal was like doing stand-up comedy for 15 minutes. Some of his recalls of recollections of the time. But it was just, you know what, the great thing about having shared success is, even though we don't see each other a hell of a lot, that day we got there probably at midday, and we all left at about midnight. And it was like it was like just brothers catching up again, a family catching up. Nothing had changed, and it just made you feel so good about it. And I can't wait till we catch up again for the next one. And again, I think the current group, I think we're so invested in your team that apart from the 4 boys that are coaching the other teams, I think we generally wish for you boys to be able to have success so we can go along, and it gives us another excuse to catch up and go and celebrate. Yeah.
You mentioned Pikey there. Who else have you got in your starting 5 on the social scene?
Who else is the starting 5? It was good to see Mel Michael. Mel Michael, he goes not too bad as well. My old mate Timmy Notting, the Poss. Poss, a 3-time download medalist. He was magnificent. Of course, Lepper, who his alter ego is Frank the Tank. In old school days, as we know, Frank the Tank, he has a couple of beers under his can get a little bit loose. And I think Craig McRae. Fly was always the social organiser, so Fly.
Froggy.
He's your Froggy Lester.
He's a Froggy Lester, He's Mad Mondays and footy trips and all that sort of stuff. And he's such a great team, man, that even when he retired, the first day of pre-season, we used to do Craig Starswich, which was the fitness coach back in the day. I know he's now our women's coach. But he was the fitness coach. He used to send us on this same run around the back of Cooperoo. It was about a 7 or 8K run, I think it was. And Fly knew the exact path, obviously. Anyway, we're running along this day, feeling sorry for ourselves. And we get up and we see this random bloke just up in the distance. And he's sitting on a deck chair. He's got his foot on an esky. He's got a can in his hand with a terry toweling hat. As we get closer, we realise it was Fly. G'day, boys. Good to see you.
That's gold.
But he's such a team man, and he's just so much fun to be around.
Beautiful. Well, we've got a quiz that's sponsored by Ned's Brownie. We do this every week, and Huey's actually only won 1 for the whole year. So that was last week.
About this.
We're not the smartest down the southwest.
So I've chucked a quiz together, boys, and we'll see how we go. Your name's your buzzer, Brownie. So if you got the answer, you're ready to go. You boys both played for South Warrnambool. Can you name another player that played there?
Brownie.
Yep.
The great Cowboy Neil.
There we go.
You can set any name.
I got names that lined up for you, Huey. You just get your buzzer ready, mate. You've been slow for 16 weeks.
Too slow.
All right, this one's going to hurt you, Huey. Brownie kicked 10 goals against someone one time. Who was it?
Brownie.
Yeah.
Mate, I watch it all the time. Carlton.
There we go, Carlton.
It was actually Dennis Pagan's last game as coach for
Got
Carlton.
rid of him. Huey used to be you, mate. What's a group of cows called?
Clog, herd.
Yep.
Bang.
Shit, the old dairy farmer.
The Women's World Cup is starting soon. Who's the famous Matilda striker?
Brownie. Sam Curry.
You were talking about her on the potty. You've been listening to the potty.
I listen to the potty. You listen to the potty. I can finish off with one question if you want to try and make it reasonable, Huey.
Come on.
The Australian UFC champion won on the weekend. What's his name?
Clog.
Yes.
Volkanovski.
Volkanovski.
Something like
Give me
that.
close to it anyway.
I was going to run in the podcast as well. He was listening to me, I reckon.
Nah, thanks very much for jumping on, Brownie.
Yep.
We appreciate it, mate, and thank you very much.
All the best on Friday night to knock over the D's. And I know Fags says it's not a problem at the MCG, but probably our win-loss record hasn't been great there. But the last time we did win, it was against Melbourne in the
exactly
final.
right.
So take that on board, boys.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate.
Brownie.
All the best.
Cheers.